Good Monday morning to everybody out there. Let's do this real quick because I think this is going to be a problem. And turn the dead cat. There we go. Okay. So this was intended to be part 3 of the cultural practice series, but I have a problem. And the problem is, not that the lawn looks bad, that's for certain. Whew, it's nice. Problem is I went to Home Depot the other day to try to find a moisture meter, a cheap thing that you get for potted plants, and it can show you pH and light and all this kind of stuff. It has like a 6-inch sort of electrode that you stick down in the ground. And they didn't have any, so I ended up having to order it, and it's not going to get here in time for me to do this because this afternoon I get on an airplane and head overseas, so I'm not going to be here, which made me think maybe that's a good thing because the lawn will likely get watered twice while I'm gone. Those are the instructions that I gave. So like 5 days from now, it's going to get a deep watering. And then around 10 days from now, it's going to get another deep watering. And so I can kind of cover off some of that stuff, but I can't really give you the visual aids that I would normally do when talking about how to appropriately manage the moisture in the lawn. God damn, look at that thing. That is ridiculous. So here's the deal, just quickly. You know, everybody has done the tuna can thing. I think by now everybody's given that at least a shot to see how much their sprinklers are actually putting out. I don't actually bother with that myself personally, but that's mainly just because I've done it for so long to just sort of monitor what the grass is doing. But what I wanted to bring into the equation, and so I will do a video on this as soon as I get back, is using one of these probes, these moisture meter probes, to just use it as a guide. Stick it somewhere where you walk by it every day and you can watch, and that thing will just slowly tick down and you'll know when to water back in. So what I used to do years and years ago, when I bought my first house back in 2003, that's exactly how I would do it. Is I had one of these moisture meters and I'd stick it in the ground right by the sidewalk in my front yard. And so it had western exposure, so it was always hot in the front. The backyard held moisture longer. I had really good soil there. And I would water that lawn for hours, like every 10 days, hours. And the reason I was able to do that is I had a water share of a ditch that went across the back end of the property, and I had a little sump pump in there, and it would just sort of seep water out on the weekend. So I'd have to do it, you know, it'd come on like on a Thursday and it would run through a Sunday. But it was like every 10 days and sometimes 2 weeks because I could get so much moisture in the ground. So I've kept that as my general mode, even here. Now I have just a single sprinkler set out right now, just one. And this otherwise is all, it's just hand irrigated. It's done through a hose spigot. There's no sprinkler timer up here running. When we started the construction, everything was cut and moved, so I don't have anything running on a timer anymore, where I used to, but it still ran out of a single sprinkler like that. So now I'm doing it just based off of look. So I water this thing. Yesterday I let that sprinkler run for about 3 hours. Now it doesn't have a ton of output, so while that might seem like a lot, watering the whole lawn, okay, for about 3 hours, that thing was only giving me like a gallon and change a minute, so it's not very much. So, you know, the whole lawn got, what, maybe 500 gallons over the whole thing, so it's really not a ton, and maybe that could have been higher, 500 to 700 gallons. So if I do that once a week, my water usage on this lawn is next to nothing. Now this isn't big, it's only 1,500 square feet, I understand that, but also it's trained to have deeper roots. So I know this is kind of long for a video that I'm not technically doing right now, but I do want to give some updates on that. So it's going to be hot and dry, and if you look at the extended forecast for Park City, we're going to be up in the mid to upper 80s the whole time I'm gone for 2 weeks, and 50s at night is what it's looking like. Not a chance of rain. It's just going to be like this. That's our typical summers. Dry, warm, and see how it goes. So going back to this, The reason that I water the way I do is I just look for the grass to start to look like it's stressed out, and then I soak it. But with one of these little meters, that really changes what you can do. But you can see after a big heavy watering just what the difference is, and the color and how everything evened out, and just kind of how it's doing right now is pretty incredible. So I'm making this short, which is not what you're used to from me. Here's what I'm going to run down just so you guys know what's coming up. So you'll see some updates from where I am coming up over the next 2 weeks. So there'll be some videos posting, and it should be pretty interesting. I think maybe you guys will get a kick out of it. So be looking for that. But when I get back, now it'll be the end of August when I get back, I have right now 2 project lawns that I'm going to be taking on as soon as I get back. And one of them is Weedzilla. It's going to basically be an entire rehab. Another one is a lawn that, and it hasn't been fed in a while, but it started off on our program. And I'm going to go up there and bring their grass down, as well as clean up the tall fescue that's in the front, kind of get that looking better, and see what you can do with just sort of some easy quick cleanup, and drop some lawn bombs on it. And that's basically what I'm going to do. So anyway, the coffee and I are headed off into the wilds today, and that's it. I don't have to mow. I don't have to do anything. This thing's ready to go. So I will talk to you guys all very, very soon. Yeah, stay tuned, and you'll see what's going to be happening here in the next week. So see you guys.